Delhi's education revolution. What did it take to unlock the potential of lakhs of students, thousands of teachers, and hundreds of principals? That is the story of Delhi's education revolution. When we started in 2015, Delhi's government schools were in a dilapidated condition. When you used to enter a school, you could probably smell the toilet at that school from 500 meters away. Windows were broken, desks were broken, tables were broken, children were out of class, students were out of class. Hardly any teaching learning used to happen. Fast forward to 5 years later, 2020. More than 300 students from Delhi government schools clear the IIT JEE exam. More than 500 students from Delhi government schools clear the NEET exam. A 99% result surpassing all private schools, not just in Delhi, but across the country. So how did this happen? What was the magic that unlocked the potential of this entire dilapidated system and transformed it into a system that was performing well? Three things. Number one, building the confidence of all the stakeholders in the system. Number two, giving them dignity, giving them respect. And number three, building their capacity. So we start with the first. How is it that we built the confidence of the people in the system? Be it the students, be it the parents, be it the teachers. One of the things that we used to often see that when you walk into a Delhi government school, the fact that the schools were in such a broken down condition, the children who would enter the schools would look at it and think that I'm a second class citizen, clearly. I don't matter in this world. And that is the reason why I am studying in such a B grade school. And it's those kids who are studying in those shiny, swanky schools who are going to make it in the world. This is exactly what the teachers also used to think. They used to think that पढ़ाने से ऐसा क्या फायदा हो जाएगा? इन बच्चों ने कहीं पहुंचना थोड़ी है. The older teachers in the system would sap away the confidence of the newer teachers who would come in with their enthusiasm. So what did we do? Number one, we did a massive overhaul of the entire infrastructure so that when a teacher, when a student, when a parent started walking into the school, they saw a school and a building that they could be proud of. They saw a school and a building which made them feel confident about themselves. They saw a school and a building looking at which they thought that I'm also someone. Not just that, even in terms of recognition. When teachers started performing well, earlier maybe their seniors used to make fun of them. But now the teachers who used to perform well started getting rewarded in the system. They started getting sent for exposure trips across the country and across the world. Teachers who got state awards, teachers who got teachers awards, instead of just giving them one certificate in a boring program, the Teachers Awards program became one of the most glamorous and most exciting programs that probably happens anywhere in the Delhi government. Not just this, every year on Teachers' Day, when teachers were given awards, their photographs, not the politicians, not the education minister, not the chief minister, photographs of teachers were put all over Delhi on billboards, on bus stands, inside metro stations. What this meant was that for the first time, teachers got this confidence that we matter. Students got this confidence that we matter. And that is what built the confidence of the system. So that was number one, confidence. Number two, dignity. The same broken, run-down schools with no water in the toilets, with a broken glass, with broken furniture. A student who would walk into the school would think that I don't matter in this world. A teacher who would walk into the school would think that the government doesn't care about the education of these kids. If the government can't even give them a proper toilet, then how is the government even going to is interested in giving them a proper education? So we got the schools cleaned. Cleaning of the schools was one of the most important things in building a sense of dignity and respect, making sure that everyone actually had a good working environment. Very interesting thing happened when we started working on teachers training and capacity building. We realized that why do teachers not want to come to these training sessions? Why do teachers uh, use all possible excuses to stay away from these training sessions? And we realized that the same broken down classrooms where even the students did not want to study, you had teachers having training sessions in those classrooms. The government had a fixed rate of 100 rupees per teacher per day. And what did that mean? That basically meant that after paying for all the teaching learning material, maybe making the payment for the person who was coming in as a trainer, there was no arrangement for proper venue. There was no proper arrangement for food. There was no arrangement for water. And so you had teachers sitting on these really broken down benches. And because there was 25 rupees left at the end of it for providing for training for the teacher, for the food and refreshment for the teachers, what they would probably get in an 8 hours of training is 1 cup of tea and 1 samosa. And so the message to the teachers was clear. Training doesn't matter. Teaching, learning doesn't matter because we are not willing to invest in you. We decided that if teachers have to be trained, if their capacity has to be built, then it has to be in an environment that has respect and dignity. We transformed the entire setting by which training of the teachers used to happen. We set aside 3 schools in the summer vacations and turned them into teacher training centers. We actually went to tent houses and hired carpets that you have in weddings. And because there was still till that time, the entire infrastructure had not been overhauled. And so you had a lot of broken floors, etc. So we covered the entire classroom with this green carpet that you see often in weddings and functions, etc. We hired tables, chairs, every teacher, so all teachers got proper desks to sit on. On that table was this shining, well-ironed white tablecloth surrounded by 5 or 6 chairs with nice white table seat covers. On the table, when the teacher sat down, there was a pad, a spiral pad, a pen, and a Bisleri bottle of water. When they got up for lunch, they got a very nice packed thali for lunch. Just something so simple, something so small, by having a clean, dignified training facility, transformed the relationship that we had with the teachers. For the first time, teachers felt that they were being treated with dignity and teachers felt they were being treated with respect. And once teachers felt they were being treated with dignity and respect, they started passing on this dignity and this respect to the students whom they were working with. If the system treats principals with respect, if the system treats teachers with respect, they start doing the same for students. And this provides an opportunity for the entire system to unlock their potential. And lastly, capacity building. If you were to look at this entire education system, while we talk a lot about capacity building, no one really has invested in providing the highest quality of training and capacity building to the most important people in the system. That is your teachers and your school principals. Often, senior government officials get sent abroad and to well-known universities for trainings. Very often, you hear about politicians going on junkets. But do you ever hear of the fact that government school teachers got sent abroad for training? Do you ever hear of the fact that government school principals got sent abroad for training? But in Delhi, this is what happened. We sent our teachers and our principals to the best institutions across the country and across the world. All Delhi government school principals, more than 1,000 of them, have gone through leadership training sessions at IIM Ahmedabad, where they learned from some of the best professors in the country. Teachers from Delhi government schools, hundreds of teachers from Delhi government schools, have studied how to teach and how to mentor at the National Institute of Education in Singapore. You had the entire senior teacher educator staff go to Finland to see how their education model works. We've had principals and teachers go to Harvard University, to Cambridge University, and get exposed to some of the best practices in the world. This is what built the capacity of our principals and of our teachers. Not just this, the very people who went abroad, be it the principals, be it our mentor teachers, then came back and were given the responsibility of 5 more schools, 10 more schools, whose teachers and whose principals they would mentor on a day-to-day basis. So it wasn't as if capacity building was done in one day and was forgotten all about. A mentor teacher who went to National Institute of Singapore would then visit schools. One day she would visit one school. She would sit in one classroom, observe the classroom of one teacher, and give her feedback. So what did this all mean? This meant that providing the best exposure and best training, we were able to build the capacity of the very team that was running Delhi's education system. So what did it take? to unlock the potential of Delhi's government school system. As I said at the beginning, number one, building the confidence of the people in the system. Number two, treating them with dignity and respect. Number three, actually providing them opportunities where their capacity could get built. And it was this simple. It was this simple that a system that was totally broken down has now turned into a system that is performing well. It was this simple that was system where students who did not achieve are now doing better than some of the best private schools in the country. Thank you.